All right, let's get right into it. We've all heard the debate, probably argued it ourselves at a card table. Is poker really a game for smart people, for geniuses, or is there something else going on? Today, we're going to break down what it actually takes to win.
I mean, it really all boils down to this one question, right? Is it just a game of chance, or is it a game of skill? Are winners just getting lucky with the cards they're dealt, or is there a whole other level of mastery happening? We've got to figure this out first.
So where do we even begin? Well, I think we have to start by tackling the single biggest myth about poker.
It's easy to see why people think this. I mean, you can't control the cards that land in your hand, right? So a lot of people just write it off as pure gambling. Basically the same as yanking the arm on a slot machine.
But what if that's not the whole story? What if the actual cards in your hand matter way less than how you play them? Not just in one hand, but over hundreds, maybe even thousands of hands. Now that's an interesting idea, and that's what we're going to dig into.
And to really get a grip on that long-term view, we've got to talk about luck. Because, yeah, luck is a huge part of it, but maybe its power is just a short-term illusion.
Okay, look at this. It's the perfect way to see the difference. In the short term, anything can happen. Luck is just total chaos. We've all seen it, right? A complete beginner gets dealt an amazing hand and walks away with a huge pot. But stretch that out over the long run, and all that randomness starts to even out. That's when the player with real skill, with a real strategy, consistently ends up on top.
Think about it like this. If you play, say, 100 hands, a newbie could totally get lucky and win, sure. But what happens when you play 1,000 hands? Suddenly, the odds shift dramatically. The professional skill is almost guaranteed to win out. That is the long run everyone talks about. It's where skill really flexes its muscle.
So when we say skill, what are we actually talking about? Because it's not just one single thing. It's more like a toolkit filled with different kinds of intelligence that all have to work together perfectly.
Yeah, a really great player is juggling all four of these things at the same time. They have to be a bit of a mathematician, a psychologist, and a master strategist, all at once. And they have to adapt their game on the fly. But let's zoom in on the one that I think might actually surprise you the most.
Have you ever heard the phrase going on tilt? Oh man, this is a poker player's absolute worst enemy. It's that moment when you take a bad beat, you get frustrated, and you just let your emotions completely take over. Your judgment gets cloudy, you start making angry, reckless bets, and you almost always lose. Being able to control that is a pure test of your emotional intelligence.
It really breaks down into a simple but super powerful equation. If you have high EQ, you can stay calm, even when the pressure is on. And when you're calm, you make better decisions. You stack enough of those good decisions on top of each other over time, and that's how you win in the long run. Simple as that.
Okay, so this brings us to a really big question, a huge misconception about poker. Does all this mean you have to be some kind of certified genius to be a great player?
Let me just put it plainly. Do you need to be a math whiz, a chess grandmaster? Do you need some insane IQ to sit down at a table and actually win?
The answer is a very simple, very direct no. Absolutely not. This whole idea that poker is some exclusive club for the intellectual elite, it's just not true.
Actually, what you need is way more accessible than you might think. We're talking about understanding some basic math, not advanced calculus. We're talking about having the discipline to just stay focused. And probably most important of all, you just have to be willing to put in the hours to practice and to learn. See? These are skills you can develop, not special gifts you're born with.
And honestly, this is the real secret weapon. It's not a high IQ, it's resilience. Because listen, every single player, even the absolute best in the world, has bad nights. They face brutal losses and downswings. The truly smart player isn't the one who never loses. It's the one who can take a punch, bounce right back, learn from the mistake, and get back to playing their A game.
So you know what? Let's take that original question and just flip it completely on its head. Maybe the question isn't, are you smart enough to play poker? Maybe the real question is, how can poker make you smarter?
Look, being naturally smart, sure, it might give you a little head start. You'll probably pick up the basics a bit faster. But experience, that's what determines who crosses the finish line. Someone who consistently practices and learns from their mistakes is going to be raw, lazy talent every single time in the long run. And really, that's the beautiful thing about this game. Poker is like this endless classroom. It's always changing.
Every single hand is a brand new puzzle, a new challenge that forces you to think, to analyze, to adapt, and ultimately, to grow. The game itself becomes your teacher.
So, here it is, the ultimate takeaway. The goal isn't to walk up to the table and prove you're already the smartest person there. No. The real prize is letting the game itself sharpen your mind. It teaches you resilience, how to think analytically, how to control your emotions. So the final question really isn't, are you smart enough for poker? It's, are you ready to let poker make you smarter?
Visit bluffingmonkeys.com and start a live chat to join a poker club now.
bluffingmonkeys.com